ladies and gentlemen, we're here bringing you guys another video. In this video, you guys can see we took a trade. This trade was actually the trade that took my Apex accounts past all of them. And by the way, I do have 10 Apex accounts. I'm going to share a screenshot with you right now. Let me bring it up real quick. Boom. You guys can see right here that we passed these Apex. I know you guys can only see 8 emails from Apex, but there's 2 more underneath. I have 10 accounts with them, and so far so good, bro. We passed these accounts as of on Friday, so I'm making this video late night on Saturday, so that's why you guys see yesterday's of these emails. We're going to be funding them up by tomorrow because right here on the email says 48 hours and we should be good to go. But if you guys haven't noticed, over here on my charts, we actually caught close to a 1 or 2. I would say that it was so sketchy, bro, when I was passing these accounts. When it's down to the wire, you're trying to manually close on some of these trades, and it just effed me up so bad, bro, where I literally closed and we were down $5 around there. It was so stupid, bro. We were down $5 from us passing. I manually closed, and then I was like, you mother effer, man. I need to get back in because I know it's going to continue pushing down. Guess what? I got in on the second entry right here, and I was just trying to make $5, right? And then I was going to click the manually close button. Guess what? It literally pushed up, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let it ride. And then it turns out that this candle brought me way back to break even, which I entered here on my second entry trying to get $5, bro. And it turns out I pretty much fucked myself over. I believe that it was this candle that fucked me up because we did go back all the way back to break. We were pretty much at a loss here for my second entry, not break even. So we entered in again on this candle. I believe it was this one. You guys can see. I entered on one of these two, but the entry was around here, and that's when we actually caught the W. It was painful, bro, because we actually entered here, we manually closed here, and then we entered it again for our second entry here, and then we took a loss here on this candle. I manually closed around this level because I thought we were gonna keep shooting up, and then we re-entered again on this candle right here that I'm hovering over, and then we actually took the W to pass these Apex accounts that you guys see up here. And it was stressful for that reason. We were $5 away from passing on this one, but we got it done. And on top of that, I wanted to show you guys this trade. It was a pretty decent trade. I wouldn't say it was the best, but we ended up taking profits. I thought that this trade was going to continue lower to take out these levels of liquidity, but it turns out that it reversed from here and we actually got a dub. But on my live account, we're still doing good. I should probably tie my live account to my TradeZilla so I can show you guys my results on that one too. But so far, I have my account tied with another firm, and I'm gonna buy another two-step account, but I'm not too sure because I already have too many fucking screens opened up. Here, you guys can see that we were looking at the 5-minute time frame combined with higher time frame analysis, and the reason why, yeah, I believe that I was looking at the 15-minute, 1 hour, 5-minute. The reason why I took this was because we had another key level around this area, and I noticed that the market has been pushing up for a fat minute already. We needed a retracement back to these levels, and that is why I did not necessarily like going for longs. I did not like the longs because we already been pushing up for a fat minute. So we needed to retrace back, especially with this move up here. And I was more inclined for me to take sells. I got my entry model. We took this motherfucker to the low over here because this is where the nearest level of liquidity was. And it turns out that this market kept pushing up after we reached the levels of down here. So yeah, there was a lot of entries on this one. So if you guys took it for sells with me, you guys would win also on this one, or it could be a break even for a lot of you. But either way, we're good to go. We're going to fund up those accounts. We're going to do whatever it takes, and I might lower the risk on my new Apex accounts. But in terms of advice and tips, I would generally give, because I know certain people that can kind of finesse their way with Apex or some of these future firms, especially with some evals where they buy a shit ton of evals, right? And it literally takes them 1 or 2 days to pass where they get one or two positions, winning positions, and they put a shit ton of risk, and that's how they pass on a first day, second day. Some evals require you to continue trading for at least a couple certain amount of time or make a certain amount of dollar amount, but with Apex, I believe it's 8 trading days, I believe, around there. So once you cross that threshold, 8 trading days, right? You can literally pass in 1 day and then just use the extra days to pretty much put on smaller positions and keep trading to meet the requirements. But with me doing this account and me putting on 10, 50K accounts, group trading them, we pretty much did it the right way. I'm not saying to do it the wrong way. It could work for you, bro, but at the end of the day, bro, that's you're playing at a different game at that man. At that point, I should say, because now you're pretty much risking your own capital and you're putting in a whole lot more of your capital to pass these accounts. You can easily blow them because you're putting on more risk per trades, and it's just a fucking never ending game of you reinvesting back all the money that you probably passed from a different account, and you're pretty much in the cycle of reinvesting, keep going. If you're trying to play it the short game of trying to pass evals pretty quick, but in terms of you doing it the right way, and especially if you pass these accounts and you're trying to move on to the PAs, very quickly you'll start to understand that even if you try to do it the same way how you pass the evals, you can't do it that way anymore because of the certain restrictions that you get placed with Apex's new rules, where you can't make above 30% of the money that you're trying to take out. I believe that it's there to put a consistency on traders that are trying to make these banger fucking trading days. And on top of that, you can't lose more than 30% of, I believe it's around 30% of your position. You cannot be in the red 30%. So you can't, if you do the math, and let's say your trailing drawdown is 2,500 for a 50K, times that by point 0.3, and you get $750. You cannot go in the red $750 per trade, per position. So it's very hard for you to start racking up, and let's say you pass in 1 day on your evals, you can't be doing that same shit. So that's the main advice, the main points I would give in this video would be to get a strategy where you have, and this is what worked for me. It's not until I increased my risk reward where I started to capitalize on these winning trades. And you have to be very careful because the trailing drawdown is the highest watermark. So you're gonna have to find a system and something of you taking profits when the trade starts to go your way, especially if you're aiming for, let's say, a 1 of 4 or 1 of 5, and you end up catching these, and then it starts to look like it's going to reverse on you and you haven't closed, then that's when the partials really help you out, when you're taking out smaller profits from those trades and you're trailing your stop loss. It really helps with Apex because now you're being more strict. The highest watermark was at that point where you make the highest amount of profit. It came back down, and and you closed right away. So there wasn't big, it wasn't harmful to your accounts, is what I'm trying to say. On top of that, other people recommend that you lower your risk, and I would only lower the risk until you get funded, bro. Pretty much anything after that, it's a waste of time. Why are you lowering your risk on an eval account when the fee is very small? You can keep going with accounts. Let's say you put on more risk. Maybe you put on $500 per position on a 50K. Bro, you can restart it. If let's say you somehow end up losing these evals, you can end up restarting and starting a new account. It doesn't cost that much. The only thing you gotta worry about is once you get funded, bro. And once you actually have the new accounts and you pass them all, that's when you gotta worry about the risk, because at that point you don't want to jeopardize you losing a nice payout just from you being reckless and you being a dumbass. But all it takes is for you to build that buffer in Apex, and then after that it becomes a whole lot easier where you can start taking out money pretty much every single month from Apex. And the reason I say that is because they want you to begin your account, build the buffer. Once you build that buffer of meeting 2,600 of your account, then from there you can start taking out money. And for me, it's gonna get fucking wild, bro. If we follow the same process, we meet good market conditions, we find the setups that we need, it's gonna get fucking wild. But more tips would be to follow the same process, man. You don't want to be taking fucking goofy ass trades. You want to take A plus setups. Everybody says these things, but truly have the patience to carry on, even if I know that you're under a timeline. I don't want to get billed the next month because the way Apex is, they bill you every single month on the fee that you start paying. So whenever it comes to you're funded, and let's say you're paying this big fee with multiple accounts, you pretty much want to pass it right away, right? But you have to recognize that if you put on more risk and you're trying to pass it right away and you're trying to get this payout before you they start to charge your accounts and they start to do all this bullshit, that it might hold you back. That's why you shouldn't give a time limit. If let's say it ends up being the next month and you haven't still met the criteria, bro, at that point it's a choice up to you if you want to continue, because I can see why most people get frustrated and they start to increase the risk. But for if you have confidence that you can end up risking a whole lot less, but you can make up that profit target, then just keep it going for the next month. If you already have profit made, bite the bullet, fucking keep the monthly recurring fees, and bro, it'll be worth it in the end because you'll have a nice payout and you'll pretty much cover all the expenses for the fees, these monthly fees on these firms. Don't want to make this video too long, like I always say on all my other videos, but it's late at night, bro. It is late at night recording this video. But yeah, man, Apex, fucking, I got this nice banger, bro. Everything was good. Ending the Friday off on a banger. But yeah, that's what I would recommend, is to understand if you have a good system, you can replicate that system. You can find its winning setups. You'll be chilling, bro. I literally almost lost this account. I actually wanted to make this point. I almost lost these accounts because I was doing some stupid shit. And I wouldn't say that I was completely following the process of my newly changed up system from when I last left it. But I almost got to that point where I was entering a losing streak and then I did some stupid ass mistakes that I shouldn't have made. It put me back in more drawdown, and then on top of that, I was literally one trade away from me blowing these accounts. And it made me realize that I came back out of literally close to blowing these accounts. I literally fucking made the profit and I passed these accounts. Is that the point that's being made is do not fucking put yourself in a hole where you're like, you know what? I already am close to breaching everything. I'm close to fucking up everything. Let me just fucking put on so much risk that I YOLO it and go for a Hail Mary. Don't do that shit. I was actually being composed. You know what? Let's take the right setups. Don't be a retard. And if it came back to you where you started taking super trades, and if you just held for the next day, you remain patient, that the next day would have pretty much presented you a nice setup that you can take and bring up the account. Most people, including myself, I made this mistake in the past where if I'm close to blowing a firm account, I would literally do the most stupidest shit ever, bro. I would put on more risk, try to aim for a Hail Mary, do some stupid shit outside of my trading model. And all it takes is one trade to bring you back up, depending on the risk to reward that you get. All it takes is one trade. And if you have one trade, if you're already in your head, you know what, I might not win this next trade, what's the point? Bro, that's not gonna take you far. And I always catch myself, bro. I used to do this shit where I would fucking say to myself, you know what, what's the point, bro? I already lost a couple trades in a row. I'm gonna keep losing them. But that's trading, man. You entered a fucking industry where we're gonna lose a lot. You're gonna lose trades, bro. So it's normal. The only thing that's not normal is that you're not following your plan. You're not following the way it's supposed to be traded, your model. So I would recommend that, man. Do not do some stupid shit once you get into drawdown or you're having a losing streak or you're fucking going through a rough time, because everybody does go through the same fucking setback that you're going through. Everybody goes through it. So don't just throw away the account, or you saying to yourself, hey, I'm gonna just get another one because fuck it, man. I have the capital. You know what? I'm just going to blow through another, whatever the fee you're paying for the accounts, and just restart it. So don't do that shit. Do it the right way. Fucking make every bullet in the chamber count, as my mentor used to tell me. And don't fucking do any dumb shit. So let's keep it rolling. I'll catch you guys in the next video. It's late at night. I'm gonna fucking go to sleep because I already stayed up for a fat minute. And I hope all of you guys are passing accounts too. I hope you guys are fucking close to getting those withdrawals. Let's keep it going, bro, for the next week, because next week could be a fucking banger, man. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Fucking get to it, man. Let's get to this shit.